Excellent. All right. So I'd mentioned yesterday that I was going to do some open source. Um, very generic. Actually did not know what I was going to do. Um, Mainly because I haven't done this in a while. It's all right. And I need to text my wife to help out my son real quick. Can you help Emmett out live streaming? I am live. All right, cool. Yeah, so yeah, it's 8 a.m. ish PDT. I'll probably go about 40-ish minutes. I'm actually making bagels right now. Um, so I need to tend to the dough. Um, and that is not a euphemism. Euphemism. But yeah, this, I think, can you see my story up here? Anyway, I thought I had to have pictures of my bagels, but I should post those on Twitter eventually. All right, so I'm going to work on something open source. I was probably going to do a contribution to a project, but I think what I'll try to do is do this like 2 times a week. I'll work on my thing, which I'll do today because I think I could time box that pretty well. And then in the future, maybe Wednesday at the same time, I will try to contribute to a project. Um, I have a hypothesis that I probably won't be able to contribute in one sitting. I'll probably do a lot of research and poking around. Um, and I will just try to, I think in Twitch you can actually download the videos you create. So I'll try to create like some sort of YouTube playlist of my experience trying to contribute. But with that being said, I have a project which is called Open Sauced. And like, I guess the main reason why I'm interested in doing something like this is because I built a project so I can track my open source contributions. Um, TBD is I actually haven't created that feature, but this project specifically is like focused around me trying to be more consistent in contributions, which I haven't been very good at in the last 2 years. Pretty much, I've not really contributed much to anything, just like small bugs or open up little issues here and there. So I'm hoping that I can like leverage some of the projects that I'm using and contribute to them. But there's this one feature on this little platform tool is I want to be so I have an open issue with this project, which is Primer Components. Actually, I don't know if it's I even don't even know if this is the right one, but let me see. Do I have an issue open here? Oh yeah, it's not this one. It's actually Primer Octacons. Yeah, so I ended up discovering like a little. I'm not even sure if it's a little bug, but basically, and maybe I'll get to this on Wednesday. Actually, doing this, it might not be as exciting because it's going to be a lot of just copy and pasting documentation probably. Um, so hopefully that's good enough for a video. Let's see. But I opened an issue around accessibility. Ah, man. I'll have to find it. Actually, I do know where it is. I have notes. Yeah, so the whole thing about this project is that I can take notes. And, maybe they closed the issue. Okay, that's what it was. So it wasn't my issue. I actually commented on the issue. And I should actually respond back to this. So basically, I discovered that using Primer. So Primer is it's basically what GitHub's built on. So if you go like github.com and you see like how consistent everything is, it's because we use a design system and we have a design systems team, and they mostly maintain this project. This project is open source, but mostly I think the way it works out, mostly GitHub employees are the ones maintaining it, but anybody's welcome to contribute to this. And I do a lot of React. There's not like a ton of React at GitHub. I don't actually work on an engineering team either, so I work on developer relations. So like the stuff I do is whatever I want to do. That sounds contrived. I don't do whatever I want to do, but I use the code to get the job done, and that job usually is JavaScript and React for the most part. I am excited about the new project that actually is in Vue. that I'll be working on. Actually, it'd be the second Vue project I'll be working on. But anyway, I digress. So I use Primer to build out quite a bit of the CSS and design system for my project here. And I discovered there was like accessibility problems, which is my app itself. It wasn't actually a Primer thing. But I was using some built-in octagons for right here. If you think, look at that. Yeah, so these are all built in from Primer. It's like literally the one-on-one same things pretty much that are on GitHub. And I didn't really explain this project. Yeah. But anyway, so I'm kind of building a feature on top of GitHub to sort of enhance my experience. And with that being said, the experience is open source. Open source is a way to find your next contribution. That is like a sort of like the path towards open source contributions. I had next in there. I'm sort of like shopping, getting feedback on whether that's actually a good saying or I should talk to marketers. Well, with that being said, I struggled with trying to figure out the issue that I had, and what I want to do, instead of having this like little note box, I still want to have that, but I'd rather have like a list of like all my current contributions specifically for this project, Primer components. So if I comment on an issue, or if I'm watching an issue, or I'm watching, or I have a PR open, like I want to see the list of my open active contributions. So what I'm getting at, and what I'll probably just focus on for the next 40 minutes, is trying to play with the GitHub API to sort of realize this and figure this out of how to list not just issues I opened, but issues that I'm participating on. I guess participating is probably the thing I need to look for. And also I need to do the same thing for PR. So if I comment on a PR or if I'm assigned to a PR, I want to just get the list of my contributions. Now this might be pretty easy. I haven't done a ton of legwork to figure out how to make this work. But I think I can sort of figure this out using GraphQL. So I don't know how much. It's like a saying I use all the time, which is Stan Lee says that imagine every issue is someone's first issue. Ironically, this is like the first time I've done this in a long time, so this is everybody's first issue. But what I want to do is play around with GraphQL, and GraphQL is like a protocol that GitHub is leveraging to interface with APIs. It's kind of like not a competitor, but a complement to REST. And I won't have to go into detail right now about that. But basically, what that means, if you aren't familiar, which I have a feeling if you're following me, you might be familiar already. Follow me on Twitter, which is probably the reason why you're watching right now, or you found this. Yeah, so what I'll do is I want to use GraphQL, which, so I'm in you can see I just logged in, and just letting you know this is production data. I want to find a repository name, and I think this is mapped to, if I don't have to, it's already got my login, so if I open source, okay, cool. So what I want to do, and this, like, ideally what I want to do is, like, this would be dynamic, like this would be whatever repo, and I'll probably have to have an org, but for now, oh yeah, I think repository is fine. And I'll do a little bit of cheating too. I might not just use the GraphQL Explorer, which is what we're looking at right now. I might have to jump into OneGraph, because OneGraph is like it's like this but on steroids. And I already have it set up for my project, so like it's pretty much linked. But for now, I want to see if there's like a contributions thing. No. So what I'll just do is see if there's like a thing called contributions collection of contributions, such as open issues created by the user. So contributions collection. Interesting. So let me not go down this path. It looks like there's like a little collection you can actually get a list of your contributions. First issue contribution. First issue open on GitHub. Oh, that's interesting. When did this show up? Sorry, I'm gonna go on a little diverge. So if you have a contribution collection, so I've never actually seen this first pull request contribution, but like that's genius because I made a project on Code Sandbox. Sorry, and when I say I made a project, that's a stretch. I use the GitHub API to create React app, and so you can find out your first your session expired. I need to sign in. I wanted to find my first repo. Sorry, not my first repo. My first pull request. Ooh, what's happened in the Code Sandbox? Which I think it's this one. And I didn't use that little first contribution thing. Apologies. I think I'll get better at this in the future. I'm sort of like all over the place at the moment. But yeah, you're just seeing the train of my thought live in action. Yeah, so you can see I'm using one graph. That's what this popped up. And then it tells you exactly the first GitHub repo that I created, which was a Instagram clone because I was learning Ruby on Rails and doing a tutorial. They had you create a repo to do that, and it happened to be the first repo I ever created. And the same time I created my GitHub account. 0 stars. Yeah, so I went on a tangent because I see that there's actually a contribution collection, which I don't know how to use. Oh, first repository contribution. Yeah, I don't know how to use that because it's actually, it's in the contributions collection from datetime. Anyway, I won't go down this path because I don't know how to write datetime. Datetime for now. I don't know. Now. How do you... Anyway. I guess I can just pull up terminal to do that. Can I do datetime? Not now. Uh-oh. My imposter syndrome showing. All right. 1 second. I've got to go open the door because my son's been banging on that for 10 minutes. So I'll be right back. Okay. False alarm. Everything's okay. All right. Anyway, sorry. I'm going to go back and focus on what I was going to focus on before. So I don't think this is going to help me because this contributions collection is great, but I think this is on the organizer level. Sorry, the maintainer level for like an organization to find that. I don't need an organization ID. What I want to do is just find... Oh, actually, it is what I want. So what I'll do, I've got some, I think I have some code, some GraphQL query to find org IDs. I need to find the org ID. No, it's gone. Never mind. Everything was wiped out too as well. Must have been an update. All right. What I'll do is I'll try to find an organization. And I'll just try to find primer. So what I need, ID. I don't know if I need a login. Did I spell this wrong too? Organization. this is login primer. All right. So reminder, I'm just looking to find an org. Why can I not find the org? Interesting. Maybe it's because I can't have this under my viewer because I'm not the owner. Oop, don't want a history. Okay. So I don't need the viewer stuff. What I do want to do is, can I find contributions? Contribution collection. Oh, no, actually what I was trying to find is ID. That's what I was looking for. That's why I did this. Okay. So this is the ID I'm looking for. So what I'll do is, I guess what I'll do, oop, get out of this. All right. I realize you can't see that. All right. So I'm gonna CD into my desktop, and then I'll touch something called notes dot live stream dot md, and then I'll mv my live stream notes. What? Okay, maybe. All right, excellent. Oh, that was so slow. Okay. Well, let me get out of this. And I'm just going to make some notes. Let's make this also really big too. All right, so I'm just going to save the ID here. Save that and then move back here. So yeah, now that I actually know the ID, I think I'm going to go back to this path and see about finding my contribution collection from org ID, which is this. And I don't know if I really want any of this. I don't know. Contribution calendar started at. I don't know if this is actually what I'm looking for. I don't know. Yeah. Because I have to do to or from. Yeah. So I guess I can figure out how to do datetime. And why am I overtyping? All right, organization. All right, to. So if I just do this, or actually I want this from. So I just want everything from. I guess we could do from January 1st, 2018. Because I guess in my context, like I just want to know recent contributions or active. And I think if anything gets over in 6 months, as far as like open source contribution, because I've done this, I have some pretty poor management of open source contributions where they just sit and I don't ever contribute to them because time. Hopefully this will change. But yeah, I'll just find out how to do date time for January 1st, 2018. January 1st. Let's just call this July 1st. That's 6 months ago. So any contributions from July 1st, 2019. And I think I will try to go back to the well using datetime JavaScript. Okay, demystifying. I don't know. I always avoid W3 schools. I don't know why. But this is what I want. Date.now. See if that's a good format. So let me clear that. I don't know if that's big enough. That doesn't seem right. It's the Unix, but I want like the datetime, the way like when UTC and stuff like that shows up. Get datetime and JavaScript. Stack Overflow. Apologies, this is just not big enough. All right. Local string, new date. That looks right. I don't know. This seemed like the right format. There's one way to find out, and that's by testing, but I'm not going to test, so I'll just test it live. Yeah, I'm probably not correct. I want, how do you do the, yes, this is what I want. But I'd be surprised if we're not ISO UTC JString. Produce that in JavaScript. Okay. Wow, never done that before. But, oh, beautiful. So if I did this, and I have event, then I have the date time for 2011 of October. That should be great. Huh. Let's see. Will it work? Parse error. All right. There is something happening. Something about a curly brace. Is it because I don't need this? Oh, I guess I didn't need an extra, rogue. I guess what GraphQL was trying to do something for me. So, earliest restricted contribution date. I don't know. I just want this. Oh, that makes sense because I never did a PR to this, but I want issue contributions. Nice. All right. I think nice. Error. Oh, I need like the first 3. Yeah. So in GraphQL, there's a thing called edges, and these like kind of like you can think of these as arrays. I don't know why my hat's always crooked. Figure that out. I think it's a camera angle. Anyway, so you have edges, they're kind of like arrays, and you have multiple nodes in them. That error message that I'm looking right here is because I need to say how many I want. Field must have selections. Node returns but has no selections. Did you mean node? Okay, yeah. So I didn't do this, and they want you to do this, but I think if I did this and hit play again, I'll get another error, which I need to like identify how many I want. Nope. Okay, all that talk for nothing. Field must have selections. Node. I've never actually seen specifically this error. Did you mean node? Oh. Okay. So all that is just saying that I need to add those curly braces. And then what I was also saying is edges that they want you to say how many you want. So GitHub kind of limits. Back when I was looking in the API pretty heavily a couple years ago, it limits it to 100. So you're going to get 100 results at a time. But you have to say if you want 100 or not. So I need to say, like, I want the first 100. But for the sake of not rate limiting myself, I'll just do the first 3. Okay, issue contributions. It looks like I've got nothing. And I'm looking at an organization, right? Organization ID, contributions for the entire org. How do I limit this to just a repo? Repository contributions. Come on. Order by. I wonder. All right, now I'm just like sort of just swimming around, not really knowing what I'm doing. Field must have. Did you mean node? Okay. Whether is restricted. I don't want that. All right, so this is not doing anything I thought it was going to do. So what I thought it would do is like, if I provide an org ID, which I did, which is the primer org, I should be able to go and say, I want everything from the components repo, which is the one that, not octagons. Ooh, it was this one. I also wrote this out too. So open source is open source. So like this is the parameters I'm looking for as a user. I want to see active and inactive contributions. I should probably say, and the last 6 months. I think we may have that limitation. I don't know. And then I want to be able to see, hey, I've got a comment here, and eventually I want to say like, hey, mplums responded back. Like I want to be able to see that all here. Now, I get this. I think I can get this, and should probably turn that off. All right, so I can get this in like my notifications itself, but I wonder if I'm doing this the wrong way. Like maybe I should instead create a notification filter and then pipe that here. So then I get notifications specifically for this repo. Because maybe I'm just going way too specific in contributions. But honestly, I don't know if you could. I don't know much about the notifications API and if I can do that. But there's one way to find out. Notifications. No. I don't think notifications are in GraphQL, which is another limitation. So if I look at notifs, activity, notifications, look at that, first try. All right, so if I wanted to list your notifications in a repository, get repo owner notifications. What? Huh. So this might be exactly what I'm looking for. So if I get notified on a change, but I think I want both actually. So I do want to be notified. I wanted to have notifications, but that's a different thing. Because if that notification gets read or marked complete or like done, then that pops off the stack and I won't see that on my list. But I think this is a whole nother feature. So this might be the wrong path today. I think I will do this in the future, is list out notifications on the repo for specifically like anything I interact with here. But for now, I'm still going to go down the contribution rabbit hole. So I tend to do this. I always go down the GraphQL route, and it might be this too much for now. It's possible. There might be something in REST that can sort of push me in the right direction. Contributions. Nope. All right. OctoKit, REST contributions. Yeah, perhaps someone's done this already, and I might be reinventing the wheel. So contributions, REST. contributions. List contributors. Contributions. Contributor stats. What does that look like? Start of the week. No. Yeah, it might still be going on the same path. Yeah, I'm just looking at OctaKit to see if they have something that I can just look at their code to see what they've done, but they don't have like a I want the contribution list, not the contributor, not the list of, I guess, looks like these are like additions and deletions. So this is like specifically code, so this might not be what I'm looking for. And then I guess to better explain, in case somebody watches this after the fact and it's like, hey, you're doing it wrong. What I mean by contributions, like the contribution graph is this. So I want to say internally at GitHub, I know there's an API to use, but I want to use, well, I can't use it because this is not a GitHub project. But yeah, these contributions also include, I think they include issues as well. Or is that a setting? Activity. Anyway, when you make a contribution to a project, you get added to like this like sort of internal contributor list in the API. It's like like basically in the GitHub database. So like me commenting on an issue will make me a contributor. Technically, even though it's like not code, it still makes your name sticky to the repo. So why is it repo and not repo? Repository, repo. All right. So I don't know. I might just continue this brute force trying to figure out if this is the right path. Date of the first restricted contribution the user made in the time period can only be non-null. Okay. But mine is null. I don't know. Why do I even need that? Oh. This is spinning forever. Yeah, I don't think I even needed that. I'm not sure why that sort of popped in there. All right. I guess I can just first issue contribution. It's a type of created issue or restricted. Let's have a selection. Yeah, I'm just, maybe there's a blog post on this. The developer. Contributions. Oh. Where the contribution is associated with a record you don't have access to. For example, you own the first issue contribution. Oh. Okay. So like restricted access is not like that's if I left the company. This is all open source. So I don't need any of that stuff. But here's like easier to read docs. So excluded first, returns the first n pull request contributions. So contribution collections aggregates contributions such as open issues and commits created by user. Yes, this is exactly what I want. Calendar of users contributions. I wonder what that looks like. All right, well this might not be a very productive session, but perhaps. Oh, you know what? Maybe. Let me see. I need that user ID thing back. All right. Maybe I try a project I actually have a lot more contributions with, because I literally only have that one comment on Primer. So maybe I'm like basically needle in a haystack. Is that the Yeah, I think that's a proper analogy. All right. So find Userorg ID. So you can actually name these. So I'm just going to name these. Find contributions. So that way I don't have to continue to copy and paste. But instead of primer, what is an org that I definitely have contributions in? Say probot probably. Yeah. All right, here we go. So let me get the probot ID. Find org ID. What? Okay. This happened before, didn't it? Oh, yeah. This needs to be outside. And once again, I don't need the viewer. All right. Probot org ID. There we go. Huh. Okay. Just noticing that this ID has no equal at the end, and this does. And that's what I grabbed. Yeah, that definitely has an equal sign. I wonder why that is. I wonder why I never actually looked in the GraphQL, like the reasoning for the IDs and why how they're generated. That would be fun to look into. All right. Let's see. All right. Lost my train of thought. I have an org ID. There we go. See if Probot has better. All right, there must be something I'm doing wrong. Repository, contributions. Occurred. I don't know. Don't know. Yeah, it just says I have like 0 contributions. All right. Yeah, so I think there's going to be some offline work that I do to sort of tinker around with this this API and figure out how to get a list of my contributions. I didn't do this, which I probably should have did this offline. GitHub find API find contributions. I love you, Stack Overflow. All right, here we go. Now this guy or gal, yeah, this person states that you can curl this. I wonder if is that hard to read? So if I do this, not found. Okay, it looks like this is the latest way to do it. Read more, Brian. All right. Yep, it'll look good. Just want to check this is a direct way API. Let's see. Yeah, I knew you could do this. You get a graph, but like I don't want my contribution graph, which is cool. Yeah, this is not me. Contributions from 2016. Oh, this is me. And details on how that works. I just want like some node code, API, events. Oh, maybe events is what I'm looking for. Events. That's right. I knew about this. So if you go back to this, Actually, I do have some notes. Let me see. I don't know if you can see my whole screen, but all right. Yeah, I think you can still see my whole screen, but whatnot. Hopefully there was nothing important on that screen. I'll go back and look. All right. All right. Here we go. So yeah, so this is like, sorry, just scrolling through the Stack Overflow and saw that this person is using the events endpoint to get a list of contributions there. I want to say this doesn't actually, oh, events, oh cool. It includes issues. And does it include pools? Okay. So maybe I can just filter, which is probably going to be painful, but if I use the events endpoint, I can filter issues based on events in a repo. And this is like, I have no idea if that's possible, but I think this might be a better issue events. So if there's an event where yeah, but this might be like, I don't know. This might be another path that I go down, which is filter events, which might be a little more painful, but at least I can get to a solution as opposed to like whatever this is. My question is though, because I am a GraphQL fiend, if I can get events in GraphQL. All right. So what I'll do is I'm probably gonna log off and do some research on my own. This is like basically session 1 of hopefully a couple streams of me figuring this out. I'll probably be back a little later on Wednesday, at like 9 a.m. Probably like this time Wednesday. I'll spend like an hour, probably tinkering back and forth. Actually, let me see. Take this off screen. Look at my calendar. Yeah, looks like Wednesday is wide open. All right, yeah. So I might come back Wednesday. Hopefully, I've done some research and we can actually just code out the solution rather than me discover it live. But yeah, coming back Wednesday, I will figure out a way with using the API to get a list of my contributions, and then we'll throw that into like a little sandbox to share, or maybe I'll just start on a repo, and then leverage that. Actually, it'd be fun to really just make that a wrapper, like maybe a node package to find contributions based on, yeah, I guess I don't know if I could do that if I need to log in for rate limiting purposes, but we can figure that out. Yeah, so I think I have a path on how I'm going to figure this out. So like moving forward, if you have any questions, I have an issue here that I'll probably just like throw this on YouTube and then link it here. So that way I have like, I'll probably create a playlist, because unless Twitch kills your videos after like 6 months or something like that, what I'll do is I'll try to figure out how to get this like sticky, put it in my issue, which is issue 451 open source, and then go from there. But yeah, I'll come back Wednesday. We'll have this actually working code, and then we'll move forward to actually making this pop up on the screen. That's the ultimate goal, is have a list of contributions there. All right, so I don't have any like bumpers or like headers. Maybe I'll actually work on a little upper, because I'm in the lower third, so maybe an upper third. But yeah, who knows? Actually, I think if I just put something like down here that says like my name and what we're working on, that would be cool. I don't know if I'll get to that before Wednesday though. All right. Yes, I hope is to do this like weekly, by like twice a week, which is not bi-weekly, twice weekly. Like just work through some open source stuff. So yeah, for now, I think I'll just go down this path. I'll work on this problem, And then in the future, I'll leverage open source to then start working on some of these projects that I'm very excited to work on. All right. Yeah, with that being said, this is Brian, and stay saucy.